Well,
I know that my mom's father, my grandfather on my mom's side, got cancer because he stood in front of a radar dish. Uh, that was apparently on top of the White House. I did not know this. Every time I've told the story, it was always like some remote military installation in the woods, because like it made sense because it was basically like the whole point of the story was he was a radar tech. They had a radar that was not showing, what it was supposed to be detecting correctly, and so they went out
boy,
and looked at the
watch me.
radar. And he was like,
I'm gonna stay in front of it.
well, he was basically like he looked at it on the roof and he was like, yeah, those trees over there directly in front of the radar dish, that's your problem. And the person he was with was like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. And he went up and you know, my grandfather was like, I'm gonna go up there and point at them and be like, they're directly in the way to prove you wrong. And so he climbed up on the roof and pointed at them. And like in my head, it was always like, there's this giant cluster of trees. This has to be like, some random military
There's
installation
just
in the
two
woods.
trees right in front.
It's yeah, apparently this was on top of the White House. So it was like probably two fucking trees in front of the White House that he was like, yeah, those two trees right there. Those two trees are your problem. But yeah, he got cancer because of that, because he was fixing the radar dish that's on top of the White House,
I assume he got
or
cancer
was on top of
because
the
he
White
was
House.
fixing radar dishes often.
I mean, probably yeah, but standing directly in front of one that was on definitely didn't help.
I'm gonna blast myself with radiation. I'm Steve
I mean,
Irwin, but
'cause
with I don't know free radicals.
with radar waves instead of sting manta rays, yeah. Hey, they both have Ray in the name. It kind of works.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was my dad's or my mom's father, and then my dad's father was just a crotchety old man who apparently ate raw onions like a savage.
I tried doing that once because I watched it. I watched Shrek do it when I was younger, and I
Uh-huh.
started crying because it tasted so bad.
Yeah, seriously.
It was not good. Oh my. But anyways, let's talk about something happier, and that was this episode of Azoken, where we get to learn about, oh my god, Mika Tsushi's backstory as to why she loves animation and like how she grew up to love it.
Hmm.
But first, actually, we haven't been doing intros, so let's just skip it.
All right,
Yeah, fuck intros.
that works.
I'll just cut the shit out, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, Mika Tsushi's backstory. It was really fun to see it. It starts out with her kind of like it was a flashback with her and her grandmother, and her grandmother does like this weird little twirly movement to like start swirling the tea, and then just throws it out, and it kind of has this
Yep.
cool little arc, and that kind of like lights a curiosity spark in Mikazushi. And this entire time it's intercut between her kind of animating in her bed as her mom comes in and says, "Hey, go to sleep, you little bitch," and then she goes away. She actually doesn't say that.
I really don't feel like yeah, that was not said.
She's actually, from what we learn later in the bathhouse, apparently her mom's very like lenient and like really like overall cool mom. Like she just lets her daughter do whatever she likes. It's the dad who kind of like wants her to become an actress slash model.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna become like maybe some sort of antagonist later on, but I don't know yet because we haven't seen
Very
him.
likely.
He was a
But we
guy.
do see
Go ahead.
in the beginning we have our model girl going through what I assume is like modeling classes as she
Yes, I know this
instead works
because.
on her.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Good.
Oh,
No, good.
I know this because I was watching Spot the Runaway, and I saw the same classes that the main girl has to go through, where she like has
Oh,
to learn
okay.
how to walk correctly.
They actually do like the full-on class stuff in Smile at the Runway.
Yeah, like she like practices how to walk correctly. Her entire motivation is that she is too short to like be like like a classical perfect model, so she tries
Hmm.
as hard to be like perfect in every other way. If she can't be perfect
Ah,
like
okay.
stature wise, she'll be perfect like with everything else. But aside from
Okay.
that, yes, she is taking modeling classes. They're teaching them how to sit down and stand up and walk. And this entire time, she's like meticulously analyzing like all of the movement, trying to figure out like how the dynamics of the body work, because that's really important for
Yeah.
an animator.
Hmm.
And they show it off incredibly well in this like little sequence. They also have a little heart to heart moment, a very like heartful moment, where she's taking what she learned of these like body movements and helping her grandma, who's like is now kind of bedridden, actually old. People get old. Teaching her how to walk and how to.
You heard it here
Movement.
first.
Yeah.
People get
People
old.
get old. Basically, she's teaching her grandmother how to walk on her own. Now that she's getting older. Very
Yeah.
nice moment.
Yeah. And kind of like tied into, I think, the reason why she cares so much about the nuance and exactly how
Right.
people move in certain ways was so that she can relate exactly how to sort of a way of walking to her grandma that maybe isn't the way that, you're trained to walk, in terms of like put your feet one step in front of each other and keep your body in like a straight line and all of that.
You got sway.
It was more of that like sway, so that you can use like the weight of your body to sort of propel your foot up off the ground and swing it forward and then sway to the other side and keep doing that way.
Hmm.
So we had her, our model girl, sort of focusing on the nuance of motion so that she could find a way to communicate correctly to her grandma, like how the body works to do certain things to make it easy to stand up and easy to walk.
Right.
And that translated into her obsession with exactly how things move in the anime.
Yeah, the meticulous attention to detail for like every
Yeah.
little human, like a little piece of animation.
Yes.
She also like goes further into that in the rocket sequence where she's talking about how like this is right after she tells the other two that she doesn't know how exactly to make the chainsaw look the way she wants it to. Like she can't visualize it and she can't like put it to paper. And then she kind of goes off about why she loves all these little small little details, and it's because every single piece of animation, unlike in film where like, it requires a lot of people, it requires an actor moving their body. An animator can animate things exactly the way they want it to be. So every little movement is a conscious choice, which can add so much more depth to moving just the simple act of movement.
Yeah. And specifically that like a lot of the focus to detail isn't necessarily for everybody, because not everybody's going to be watching for, does this rocket take off exactly the way it should in real life?
Right.
But for the small select people who will be watching, she wants to get it right.
Yes, the people who are actually are looking for those details, and I guess I also read it as more like she wants to also inspire other people as well.
All right,
But I don't know if I'm just kind of me reading into that because I don't know if she actually like makes a mention of it.
I mean, I didn't pick that up, but she may have. I may not have been paying attention.
This maybe I may have just been kind of making that up as I was reading the subs. I don't know, but yeah, she really likes to keep everything as perfect as she can because some people, even if it's just some people, she wants to show them that she is like great.
Yes. I will say during that rocket takeoff, holy fuck, that rocket was gigantic compared to their background. Like when they had the shot of them standing on the hill watching it like take off at that angle, that rocket at the distance they were looking at it was way too fucking big.
It was a Saturn 15 rocket.
That was like fucking a Saturn 30. That was twice the size it was supposed to be. That thing was huge.
I don't have a scale.
Either they were way
rockets.
closer than either it was way closer than I thought, or that rocket was gigantic, or not properly scaled.
Don't know. Because like I've only ever seen rockets, and like the background is just blue with like a green pasture. So there's like nothing to. There's no frame of reference. It's just a rocket to me.
Right.
So
I guess that's fair.
I did like how Asukasa was basically going off about the mechanics of the water sound dampening technology.
Oh yeah,
Because that's the stuff she likes.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's all the concept stuff that she really enjoys.
Mm-hmm. But we also get in this episode some work with the sound person, some work with the robot club, and some work with the art club.
Right, the sound person, they need to figure out how to have like a storyboard with timing so that the sound person can actually put in the sound effects and kind of create them in the way she needs them to be.
Mm-hmm.
We have another request from the client, and that's that they want to be the voice actors for the show or for the little clip. And clients are always fucking a pain to deal with, and they even show it here where they're just really pissed off at fucking, I think it's Geto or Seto, I don't remember his name, just being a fucking goon, just doing whatever he wants.
Because a lot of it's from the client side, they have the idea of I want to do the voice, like the ADR dialogue of the robot being like commanded to take off and like deploy, basically. And it sort of creates this the problem with it is that a lot of the things that he wants to ADR in, like a lot of the voice lines he wants to
Tuk, 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 tuk,
do, are
tuk.
things that it's easier just to show, or it'll be very obvious what's happening when they show it.
Yes.
So it's
So
hard to explain to somebody who's so passionate about it, like, it's great, it's a great idea. Fucking pointless though.
right, it's like it was the second time, and it's always Sunny in Philadelphia where they show Lethal Weapon 6, where Mac is explaining the plot as like an ad lib, and both Charlie and Dennis keep telling him, "You don't need to do that. People will get it." That's exactly what's kind of going on here, where his
Yeah.
ad libs are just adding unnecessary information because it was already being shown to them. Show, don't tell. Important rule.
Exactly. But they, they're the client, and so we sort of have to deal with them and find a way to make them happy without ruining the product. And on the other side of this, we have our interactions with, our contractor, the art club,
Yep.
as they've delivered the art, but it's sort of unusable in its current state.
Yes, and this is more to put Asakusa, whatever, in more of a precarious position where she's a director of this, anime, so she has to, direct her employees basically. She has to direct her team, and that's something she's not very good at because of her social anxiety. The entire time where she's like saying, oh, this doesn't make sense, like you should have done it the way I told you. She's never being she's not forceful enough, basically, to the team.
Yeah.
And
She needs to communicate clearly what she wants, exactly the way she wants it.
right,
But she doesn't want to, like, sort of come down hard on these people who are helping them, ostensibly. So she sort of is more suggesting the way things should be rather than telling them, this is the way I need it to be.
right.
Currently, I cannot use this. And so it's sort of leaving both sides in an awkward position. The one guy from the art club is also sort of fighting his own fight of wanting to be lazy a little bit and not redo things in the way that they want, because without the car, the scene would look empty. And, I did the light the way that you asked the first time.
The funny
because it
thing
wasn't
is,
very clear.
he did more work adding the car. He was still stoned at the fucking car.
Yeah.
But the girl's a bit more receptive. She's like, yes, I understand. This was all his fault.
So they go back to fix some of it, and
We'll see
Camel
what
Hat
happens.
takes on the rest of it.
Yeah.
And this sort of gets into the thing we've talked about this before, with this show sort of kind of glorifying the overworking nature of being an animator, and it's sort of building up more and more, and especially now that Camel Hat has taken on sort of the job of redoing some of the backgrounds herself, because in her own words, it's easier to make it the way I want if I just do it myself.
Right, but I don't think this is about the working aspect. It's about how she can't properly communicate what she wants.
Yeah, and I kind of hope it falls through. Like, I want the end point of this whole plot line now to be that this is a fucking shit show. Because, like, I want them to develop, basically. Like, I
Right.
want this to be the growth arc.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she needs to learn, one, how to communicate, but two, how to properly direct. And you don't properly direct
By
by
doing everything yourself.
hands-on doing it all yourself.
She's micromanaging.
You have to,
or
yeah, you have to look at your contractor or whoever you've hired out to do, your background and say, I need it to be exactly this way. You have to do it correctly. Like, the director can't do everything herself to do it, like, to make sure everything works at the end of this.
right, and to the show's point, Kanamori is like pushing that. She's telling him like, you can't keep doing this. It's not gonna work.
She is, but like,
Oh,
like
sorry.
the show is doing Kanamori justice.
You kind of cut off there.
Oh, did I? I feel like the show is just not doing Kanamori justice.
I feel like it kind of
'Cause,
is,
like-
because right now, like, she is my favorite character. Well, I guess that's my opinion. Why don't you think the show is doing her justice?
Because I feel like every time she brings up the fact that, like, she sort of is enabling them, kind of, with the whole, like, you have to work 40 hours a week for 7 days for a month or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But also, like, every time she brings up the fact that, like, they're just taking on more work and they're doing unnecessary work and they need to work on the things that absolutely need to be done and, like, trust their contractors to do it the right way or get them to do, what they want. Like, during the entire art discussion, you could see that Kanamori was, like, visibly upset with what was happening, but she never chimes in. And like I just feel as though the show isn't hasn't yet shown the fact that like Kanamori is right. Like
Okay, not showing it
if
enough at
this was
least.
a real project, if this was a real project, Kanamori is absolutely right. These people, like the two girls, are
Ha-
taking on an insane amount of work that they cannot realistically finish, and this project would go down in flames or not get delivered on time.
okay, I see that. Yeah, I do hope that it goes towards that direction more next episode. I feel like we got an inkling of that with the art club, and right now we don't really have that with Mikazushi because she's kind of still doing her own thing, and no one's really
Yeah.
helping her out right now.
Hmm.
Although she did just kind of come down on her for I think it was wasting time. It was something about the PC, but I forgot what the line was. But
I don't
Kanamori
remember
comes
either.
down on her for some reason. But yeah, we can definitely see that she's getting more and more visibly upset.
Yes.
So we'll see
Kanamori
how
is
that
definitely
plays
getting
off.
like flustered with how things are going.
Yeah,
And I kind of hope that this one now sort of just goes down in flames. But undoubtedly it won't. I kind of expect that somehow through some 11th hour stroke of, frantic work, this will somehow get delivered in a way that the clients will be happy. But I kind of want, just for like the development of these characters, I want for this one to go down in flames. I
okay.
feel like it would be compelling for forcing Camo Hat to become a better director. I feel like it would be good narrative wise.
I see. I think we'll figure that out. We'll find that out next episode. I think next episode is where it either succeeds or fail. Well, I think next episode we're gonna get that moment at the end where it might fail or might not. Like that's when we'll find out.
Hmm.
Well,
We still have stuff to do next episode because we still haven't gotten the song yet. There's
oh
supposed
right,
to be like an intro song
there's
they were talking about
no,
hasn't
they
been
cut
delivered
it.
yet. Oh, did that get cut
That
officially?
got cut. Yeah, the client doesn't really want it anymore.
Okay,
So
I
they're
missed that.
yeah. So they
I heard that it didn't. I heard the part where they said they didn't get delivered, and they were just talking about like cutting straight to the action, but I didn't know that it actually got
yeah they
removed
said
full
like we
on.
don't need to do that anymore. We can move on. So that's a bit less work. Um, see, there are some other things like we need to get the fixed backgrounds.
Hmm.
Uh, we need to
We
get the
still have to find a
animation.
way to get the proper animation done, and then get sound effects on top of that, all set up the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Uh, and they have to do the voiceover dialogue.
Right. Okay. So I think everything's starting to come up to a boil, and we're gonna get the introduction, I guess, of the climax at the end of the episode, where episode after next is gonna be whether or not it fails.
All right,
I think that's where we're headed
I,
in terms
I
of
can see that. I can see that
the plot
sort of panning
structure.
out.
We'll see if we're right, because I don't think I was right with any of my theories from last season, last
No, I don't
week.
think so. Yeah, last week, no, I don't think we were right at all.
But yeah, that was Isoken. Um, I did really like Mikazushi's. I mean, yeah, Mikazushi's uh, enunciation of why she liked animation and like the show showing us why she liked it so much.
Hmm. We also have for a show that like a little bit more than I want to talk about Izoken. For a show that
Okay.
focuses so heavily on like animation and the animation style and the way things are done, especially like the first couple minutes with Kanamori and her whole fascination with motion stuff.
That
When
was
they
Mikazushi.
went to
Kanamori's a tall girl.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
I don't know anybody's names. I only know them by the nicknames I call them. Model girl.
model girl. I think it's Mika.
Okay.
Kanamori, I think is the little one. I've been confusing their names. Asukasa is the taller one.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll forget all of those in 10 minutes.
Nah.
Sorry. When they go to the bathhouse, there is first of all, they look like fucking chickens. Holy shit, their proportions are weird.
He always does stuff like this. This is usually how they draw their characters.
It is bizarre. Um,
Yeah, they're very
but
lanky.
it's just it's a very weird sequence when they get to the bathhouse. Like for the first half was all about like the animation and stuff. We get to the back half with the bathhouse and all of that stuff, and it was just sort of like a chill moment. And then we get to they eat food where they fish up their own crawfish to eat,
That looks
which
really fun.
it does. But also, I want to point out the fact that crawfish are not native to Japan. I don't think they even live in Japan.
That's a little pool though. Like you can have a little pool.
I mean, I guess. Do you think they just import in live crawfish to put in their pool for people to fish up?
I assume at some point after like you have like a generation, you don't have to import them anymore. You could probably just breed them, and just throw them in the pool.
I mean, that depends on how many people want to do the whole like fish up crawfish to boil them and eat them thing.
I don't fucking know. But from what I saw, I think it was more of like a reward system where they had crawfish already cooked. It's just that it depended on how many you caught.
Possibly. I mean, it doesn't exactly say conclusively whether or not they got the crawfish that they fished up or
Yes.
not.
They did talk about how
Um,
they needed to have the crawfishes purged of their mud.
I mean, you do, well, kind of have to do that.
But like,
There's a whole process to crawfish picking
there is
that
at
goes
least
in before they
because
send them to market.
okay, because I know for like shrimp, you just need to like cut the back and then pull out the little poop sack, and it's really small and thin. You can just quickly do it. And
Yes,
then for
but they
crabs,
don't butterfly crawfish like that.
Right, that's true.
I think you put them in salt water for a while, I think, or something like
Oh,
that.
and they shit themselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
you put them in salt water with like, I think it's like you put them in salt water and then run bubbles through it, like you aerate the water,
Oh, okay.
and it causes them to poop, and then you like put them in, fresh water like 2 or 3 times, and they get cleared out,
Okay.
and then you can eat them. But yeah, you definitely don't butterfly crawfish because you boil them whole, and then it's
You suck at
pinch
their
the tail,
heads.
suck the head, pinch the tail, suck the head.
Chasing tails. Go get it. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so they had a little crawfish boil. They didn't have a proper crawfish boil because they got served in a bowl, not on the table the way God intended. If you're gonna have a crawfish boil, you just pour that shit directly on the table and put it in a bowl.
I mean, they didn't have potatoes or corn either,
It's true.
or Old
They
Bay.
probably didn't have Cajun seasoning.
Nah, use Old Bay.
You absolutely should use Cajun seasoning.
I don't give a shit. I'll do what the fuck I'll do what the fuck I want. This is Maryland.
Old Bay is for Maryland weirdos who think that Old Bay is the best seasoning ever, but who
Old
are
Bay's
actually wrong.
Tasty. Okay, we're getting off track. Anyways,
It's okay.
that was Aizoken. Aizoken.
So moving on from Aizoken,
to
we have
Full Pound
Hanako?
Hanako-kun. Yeah.
where we get to explore the library, which is actually the TARDIS in disguise.
I'm really annoyed that the 4 o'clock library is the fifth wonder.
It should be the fourth wonder. You're right.
Or it could just be the 5 o'clock library. Like either or.
It's probably too
What?
late for school, I assume.
I guess so, but yeah, it should have been the fourth one. I assume the fourth one has something to do with death. Because I think four is she. I think
Each ni
Sanshi.
sanshi. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
so before.
And it has something to do with death. So libraries aren't deathy. So who knows?
Libraries aren't deathy enough for you. I mean, this library was pretty deathy
Yeah, shit was fucked up.
because we spend some time in the regular library with
Not Sun Wukong.
not Sun Wukong, the most oblivious man in Japan.
Yes.
As I don't remember what they were fucking around in the library. Oh, he was talking about her and she was talking about helping Hanako. And
What?
they have like a little cute moment of him saying something about like I want to help you. And she's like, "Oh, you want to help Hanako too? Interesting. Good to know we're on the same team."
Yeah, I kind of glazed over the entire like first part. I don't know what the fuck. Well, it wasn't very short. It was very short, anyways.
It was pretty short and sort of meaningless. It was basically just, yeah, thanks for helping me help my ghost boyfriend out.
Yep.
As not Sun Wukong continues to get dicked over, but
Yep.
what we do find is a little butterfly that shows us the book that accesses the 4 o'clock library.
Yep, and it opens up to a bunch of white and red books everywhere.
White and black books.
Is it white and red? I'm sorry.
Were there red books?
No, I meant white and black. My next thought was about the red book, but I was waiting for you to get to that part because mine is like a chime in.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they open up to all the white and black books. White books being current students, white books being live students,
Students.
black book being dead students. Was that what it
Yes.
is?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's everything
Yeah.
that will happen in that person's life.
Yes. And so they find eventually a particular white book, which is the story of Nene.
Yep.
And so she opens it up and reads some of her story about her past and the fact that she wrote in her diary about Hanako, and the fact that despite the fact that she continues to insist he's definitely not my type, he was a pretty alright dude, and she had a little heart flutter for him.
Yep. She writes a little poem.
And she writes a little poem in her diary. Somehow not the most embarrassing thing she wrote in her diary, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
But as she flips through some more of the pages, she finds a gigantic red page in her book that says future on it.
Which she was also specifically told, don't go past the red. If
So
it's red,
specifically
don't
she was
read
told
it.
don't read the red books.
I feel like
I kind of feel her. I
Right?
feel like she got gypped.
I think that was an issue with translations, though,
Okay.
because it becomes red after she starts reading it. So like, I can
It
understand.
does,
Like,
but when they were saying like there were the white books, and it showed like a picture of a white
yeah,
book,
then there's
and
the
there were
black
black
books,
books,
and then there was red books.
and then it had a picture of a red book, like a book with a red cover on it.
Right, but like, it's not hard to like make the assumption that like this page is red, so I'm gonna assume it means danger and not fucking do it. But that's just me, I guess.
I feel her. If I probably wouldn't have read it, much like you, just because the red book thing. But at the same time, I completely understand looking at a red page, not immediately associating it with the red book, and saying I'm going to read past this red page. Because she wasn't told don't read past the red pages. She was told don't read the red books. Completely different things.
This is true, but like, Well, anyways, it's good that she read the red part, or it's good that she read past the red part, because that's how we meet Overhaul.
The rumor should have been all red things are poisonous.
Or dangerous.
But yes. So we find, well, she reads some of her future about the
Right.
fact that she's going to experience heartbreak during the festival because her legs are super thick, apparently. And Japanese men are not men of culture.
It's also apparently like not thick with two C's, just thick with the C and a K, just the normal one. They're daikon radishes. They keep making that joke.
Yeah.
Even though our boy from The Legendary Hero's Dead says that those are the best types of thighs.
Exactly. We've already from Legendary Hero Dead know that those daikon radish thighs, thick with two C's thighs.
And then it gets assaulted by like some weird monster thing.
Yeah, her book starts bleeding, and the, I don't know, snowy ghost of herself with a gigantic 5 on its face attacks her.
Was it?
But she is saved. I think it said 5 on her face. Maybe I was wrong. It had some kanji on her face. It was there for like 2 seconds, and then it gets murked by Hanako, so I didn't really pay attention to it, because it was not very important.
5 would make sense. The 5th wonder.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I assume it's 5.
Bit.
The Sun Wukong and Nene run away. They say something about Hanako come save us or something to that effect, and he pops up and chops its head off.
Yep. Also, he has his like hat and the cape. I thought the cape was like only when the Yashiro is like destroyed. This show is being very inconsistent with its rules.
Presumably, they're not inside of the library's spirit realm type deal.
But they say they're in the boundary as soon as they walk into the library, or that part of the library.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, they're weird about their rules.
Just one
He
lone
definitely
animator.
was not supposed to.
One little animator just completely forgot. And just
Well, I mean,
absolutely
it's
kept
not
going next
original, so I assume it is a.
to it. It's the manga, yeah.
The mangaka made that decision.
But anyways,
yeah, he shows up in his cape and hat, chops his head off, and we now meet a white and black haired teacher, who literally any person who has a combination white and black hair in anime always knows the future. Swear to God, that is a trope.
What about Haru?
Oh, he does have white and black hair. I forgot about him.
Yeah. Anyways,
I guess I'm wrong. I'm thinking of several other things I've seen that have characters with white and black hair who are usually it's older characters too.
okay.
So I guess I can narrow the trope down to older teacher type characters almost always end up being know the future type characters.
You would think this is like a super specific trope, but it like isn't as specific as you'd think, because anime.
Yeah. It
Anyways,
comes up more frequently than you would anticipate. Yeah.
but yeah, our teacher is a spider thing because he's got multiple legs and multiple arms,
Yeah.
so he's quite literally overhaul. Um,
He comes out with a total of 8 limbs.
yep.
Says he is a spider. And at first we have him acting all menacing, saying I hate students, but we also have Hanako there to basically
Jokes.
say, yeah, are you gonna do we really have to get thrown down right now, teacher? And the teacher basically decides, yeah, I don't really want this fight.
This is not beneficial.
Yeah. So instead, we then get to learn a little bit about the hierarchy of the wonders of the school and the fact that number 7, Hanako, is the leader of them to some extent.
Right, the leader of like the hero ones, the heroes.
Well, the 7 wonders, yeah.
Well, they're the 7
All of them.
heroes of the wonders, I think.
Are they?
Yeah.
Was that said?
Yeah, like they are like the team. They're like the hero team.
Well, I mean, the 7 wonders are like the top ghosts in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he calls himself
Okay.
the hero team.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
I must have missed that moment.
yes, I'm pretty sure they did. But anyways, yeah. We also find out that there is a traitor amongst them, and trying to figure out who that
Yes.
is. Also, that girl to the left of fucking Hanako, did that look like Aoi, Nene's friend?
I don't remember.
Okay.
We saw her like when they first mentioned like some of your friends might also be, wonders pretending to be humans.
Right, because we also find out that some of the wonders can interact with just humans on a daily basis, much like our teacher, who's an actual teacher in the school, but also happens to be a ghost.
Because the best way to spread a rumor is to spread your own rumor to make yourself, baller.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they have some of the other people in the school may also be monsters is basically the takeaway from it, and they show a little ghost thing that includes Aoi.
But also some of the other side characters that we saw before for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that she's not, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Well-
she is going to be one.
Well, another reason why I thought she was one, or might be one, is that he also makes a passing mention that whoever it is going to be spreading a lot of rumors, and that's basically what Aoi's been doing. She's like the rumor mill. If anyone needs to find something out,
I mean-
just ask Aoi. It's
Yeah,
either that
but
or
she's-
Aoi's just in the know of just everything.
I would say more just Aoi's in the know, and the mangaka needs somebody to tell Nene the rumor because through Nene, we, the audience, learn the rumor. And so it's easiest just to have a friend of Nene who just knows the rumors.
Right.
So it just makes sense for, we have Aoi, the character who comes and tells us the plot device, or the plot, thing that we're going to deal with for that arc.
And they do also show the radio once again. So I think that's why another reason why I think it might be Aoi, because I'm of the assumption that Aoi was the girl on the radio, but it could also be the green-haired girl.
I am still thinking it's the green-haired girl.
Okay. Yeah. It's one of those two for sure. I'm just kind of leaning on Aoi as of right now, but I can definitely see it being the green-haired girl, like 100%.
But yeah, we learn about big yawn. We learn about the hierarchy of the wonders. We learn that there's a traitor, and we then find out Hanako's plan for how to basically deal with the traitor and prevent them from doing anything super evil and destroying the school or hurting the children is let's just destroy the wonders.
Yeah, so
Let's just take that down
they're
for a
going to
while.
temporarily destroy their power, and whenever the bad things stop, that was the bad person, so that everyone becomes a wonder again except for that person. I think that was his plan.
Yeah.
And then she says, that's a stupid fucking plan, but whatever.
Basically. But again, I don't want to fight you about it. So the teacher says only the priestess, aka Nene, is allowed to come in to destroy my Yoshiro.
Yeah.
And so they both go further into the 4 o'clock library, because again, this thing is the TARDIS, to find his Yoshiro to destroy it.
You mean Tartarus?
No, TARDIS.
TARDIS,
The
oh.
police box from
Oh,
fuck.
never watched it. It's Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, thank you. All I could think of was the word doctor, and I couldn't remember the rest of it, despite the fact that it's only 2 words.
Doctor Who?
Doctor is the longer of the 2 words.
Okay, now they're going down into the the they're going to the room. We're going to
Yeah,
the
they're
room.
just going into some deeper room inside of this cave, inside of this library, inside of this other library. It's weird in there. This was also the moment where, like, watching them walk away is. We talked before about the fact that this show's animation is like a little bit wonky at times. I described it as Willy Wonka-esque. Um, but this was, like I said at the beginning of this, I watched them in the order of Aizokin and then Hanako and then Somali at the end. And watch after Aizokin, where they focus so heavily on like the exact way that people move and stuff like that, despite the fact that the animation in Aizokin is weird. They talk to a great extent about like how people walk. Watching them walk down that hall, that like rocky cave hallway, was literally just a cut. Like the animation was just the body, like shoulders and up, just swaying back and forth. Like you never see their feet move. It's just their upper body that sways back and forth.
Was it the
It's like
cartoony
after
part
what?
though? Was it like in cartoony-ish form?
No, it
Oh,
wasn't. It was in like regular form.
oh, I think is this one? Is this if we're like where we're seeing them from behind or from where we're seeing them waist
Yeah,
up?
where they're from behind.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It was super fun. It was just like the juxtaposition of after watching Aizoken, where they focus so heavily on like how people walk, and then watching them animate, or watching the animation of Hanako, where they're like, what exactly is real life and realistic animation?
Well, this one they're probably just try to save money.
Probably. Um, but yeah, so they as they're walking down the rocky corridor into the deeper parts of the library, the library teacher and Nene are having a conversation about. I don't actually remember anymore. They have some conversation.
I think Nene wants to like learn more about Hanako, and
I think so.
he makes best mention of like, oh yeah, you'll find out soon or some other bullshit like that.
Oh no, wasn't it first? They had a conversation about like, can anybody change their future?
Oh my
Because
god, yes.
she wants to figure out if she can not get insulted at the festival about her thick legs.
And he says, yes,
Um,
I've seen one boy do it before.
I've seen one person ever change their future.
And thus we see who changed their future.
Yeah, we get to
It makes it very
the
obvious that it's
deepest part of the library. Yeah, we get to the deepest part of the library. We see a whole bunch of gems, and then instead of it being any of those gems, he pulls a moonstone out of his pocket, implying that we definitely could have done it in that other room. He just chose to come deeper into this hole for no particular reason.
Maybe it only
but
manifests in that room or that area.
I guess maybe. I didn't think of that. But yeah, he pulls out the moonstone and basically says, "This was given to me by somebody who inspired me and made me change the way I was thinking," or something like that. Given to me by the person who changed their future. And Nene rips the seal off and sees how exactly the teacher came to possess this moonstone.
Which I wonder, why didn't he just say, "Oh yeah, here, this is the rock that Hanako gave me. You're gonna find out about it literally right now." I guess maybe it's to have plausible deniability that he didn't say anything about Hanako when Hanako like interrogates him at the end. Did you tell her anything? Like, I didn't say anything. I didn't showed her a vision.
Anything. She ripped the seal off. What she saw from there and what she took away from it is up to her.
Is it up to her though? I think it's up to the memory of the item.
I mean, yeah, but
which I assume Hanako knows about.
No. Yeah, he just possibly was acting coy about it.
Who knows? But anyways, yeah, we find out the backstory of a part of the backstory of Hanako and the teacher, and it's that Hanako was maybe being abused, maybe being bullied a bunch. We know that he was kind of like a very sad kid. He was a loner off in the corner, but the teacher has like a soft spot for him, and he really wants Hanako to have a good life. Even in the book, he reads that Hanako's going to grow up to become a science teacher who just loves, the stars and shit. But he dies.
Yeah. And this was what the teacher was basically saying was he didn't truly care. He was just pretending to care about Hanako's problems because he was assuming by the book that everything would all turn out fine.
Right. And despite seeing like Hanako in a very bad spot the day before, he doesn't really like change. He doesn't change his way of thinking. He doesn't actually try to help Hanako. He just assumes it'll turn out fine.
He just assumes based on the future, things are going to go fine. He'll turn into a teacher. Everything will be happy. And instead, his future changes, and he dies.
We
He
don't know.
dies young.
Yeah, we don't know how he dies yet.
Yeah, we just know that he dies young after giving up his moonstone that inspired him to do whatever he wants, or inspires him to believe that he could do whatever he can in life, or something to that effect. He gives up the moonstone, basically saying, "I've decided I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything."
Hmm.
And he possibly, maybe killed himself.
Yes.
It
They,
sort of implies that he was not in a good headspace.
yes, because he like is standing on the windowsill, and the teacher's like, "Yo, don't do that." And he's like, "I'm not gonna do it yet."
Mhm. Yet. Um, the other thing that I was considering, though, is from last episode, we saw that there was other Hanako.
Yes, the one with the black Jigo Roku, whatever, the black
Yeah,
spirit.
the black spirits. And the black seal on the opposite cheek. I went back and looked.
Oh, right. That's another thing. I want to know if the other one had the seal.
Yes, he did have a seal. I don't know if it's the same seal or not, because I don't recognize kanji, and it also was not a very clear shot of his face.
I assume one says black, one says white.
Maybe. I kind of just assume they both say seal.
Oh, yeah, that were probably works too.
Yeah, I'm assuming they work similar to the tags that like they
Yeah.
have the other spirits have in their Yoshiros, where it just says seal on them.
Right.
But so Hanako has his on his left cheek,
Yes, and the other one has
and
it.
other one has it on his right cheek.
Okay.
So they do have it on opposite cheeks, and they're in opposite colors.
Right. For furthering the idea of the duality of man.
Yeah. But specifically, I went back and looked because I wanted to make sure during this episode that it wasn't other Hanako who had showed up to basically like fuck with Nene. Because now that we know that a second Hanako exists, I do expect some doppelganger shenanigans are going to go on. And it made me sort of wonder as we were watching this thing, because it wasn't calling him Hanako. We also don't know what the other Hanako is called. He was calling the boy in the flashback. He, the teacher, was calling the boy in the flashback Yugi.
Yuki. I thought it was Yuji.
No. It was Yuji?
I thought it was Yuji Akane.
I think it was.
I know his last name is
know.
Akane. I think it's you something.
Okay, sure. It's definitely Yuji. I remember that.
Okay.
I remember thinking it sounded like Luigi.
Oh, okay. Is it? Yeah, it's Yuji Akane.
Okay.
And they're like
So he
in
was calling
1940s time or something.
1960s. Brandon, please.
Is it?
1969 specifically.
Wait, really?
Yes. They were talking about
Oh,
Apollo 11. And the
yeah,
first
they
man
have
on
an
the moon.
actual fucking date. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
It was July 22nd, 1969.
Technically, it was July 23rd. Because it's the after.
I guess, yeah.
Anyways,
Well, no, that would be July 22nd.
Oh, whatever. Anyways.
The first time a man walked on the moon was July 21st, 1969.
Sir, you're forgetting time zones. Anyway,
It's true. It's true. That is the other thing. Is Japan would be like a full day ahead. Yeah, there's a whole thing there.
I'm just being a bitch. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Back to the actual meat of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We still don't know what's gonna happen with the two Hanakos.
Yeah, and we don't know if that was actually our Hanako or if that was other Hanako.
Right.
Which I kind of was wondering about.
Okay, like if there's an actual different Hanako versus Hanako in two different forms.
Right.
Okay.
Because it could be some split personality shit of like he had some sort of like there were two like Hanakos inside of one body, or it could be two people like twins who just look the same.
Right.
So I could see both happening because it could be when he died he was divided between all of the good emotions, white Hanako, and all of the bad emotions, black stamp Hanako.
Right.
Or it could be twins, our Hanako, the other Hanako, who are brothers.
Very much so, but we've yet to find out.
Because we only have one piece of their backstory, of the backstory of a Hanako, and we don't even know which one it is. So it could be that this was the backstory of the other Hanako. Because it would make sense kind of if this was, because this one was acting really sad and depressed and sort of upset with life, and that would tie into the whole Black Hanako thing. Because he looked like he was not a happy camper.
We also kind of see that Hanako already has a connection with the teacher, though.
It's true. So this also could be, because the teacher definitely recognizes our Hanako and seems to imply that this is
The
the
Hanako he knew.
moonstone given to by this Hanako. So it definitely could also be our Hanako.
Yeah, well, we have to figure that out. Yeah, we have to find out whether it's true or not. But we'll see. Oh, whether not whether that's true or not, but what the truth is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whether or not our Hanako even knows about the existence of the other Hanako.
Oh, right.
And what his deal is.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk
'Cause-
about the secrets that happened halfway through?
Oh, right, yeah. As
Halfway
part
through.
of the
Yeah.
deal with white and black hair teacher, when they want to get his Yoshiro, Nene, not Sun Wukong, and Hanako had to divulge one of their secrets. And so Nene goes first and decides to divulge the fact that when she was in middle school, she kept a pretend diary of her correspondence with an imaginary boyfriend.
It's so fucking funny.
And
what's
I
even
love
funnier,
the savagery of the teacher. Of you
You're
get 3
lying.
points because 1, I already knew this was happening. 2, I forget what 2 was.
you're lying.
Yeah, well, 3 was you're lying because you
You're
said
still
you
doing it.
used to keep it. You definitely still keep that diary. What a fucking savage.
Oh, my God.
And he brings up the fact that he was, or she only just recently wrote a note in her, pretend boyfriend diary
About Hanako.
about not Hanako, well, not just Hanako, but also about Sun Wukong's brother.
Yeah, so Hookah's like, what? My brother?
Sun Wukong, as the most oblivious man in Japan. Wow, I can't believe you know my brother. I wonder why you were writing about him in your diary.
Oh, Sun Wukong.
Oh, Sun Wukong.
And his secret is he's scared of the Oni masks.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
then the
what it
teacher's
is.
like, I don't care. That shit
The
sucks.
teacher pretty much, just says, shut the fuck up. And Hanako
is
sort of
like-
obliquely threatens the teacher, basically saying, like, oh, do you want me to divulge one of my secrets? Implying that it's going to be a stab in the gut kind of secret.
Yeah.
But instead, he sort of gets peer pressured into divulging a secret to Nene and Sun Wukong, and he divulges that he is a fan of donuts.
Yeah. The next episode is called Apparition 7 Donuts.
Apparition 7 Donuts. I'm assuming it's just Apparition number 7 because it's the 7th episode, but yes, it is called Donuts. So I'm
Oh my
assuming
God, I'm
that
fucking
we're going
idiot.
to learn some more stuff about...
Yeah.
Glad you figured that one out. I'm going to assume we're going to figure out some more stuff about Hanako's past.
Oh, and why he likes donuts.
Yeah.
That's not
Wow,
going well.
dude. No, it was almost certainly not going to go well. We might, at some point, also learn some more about
The other two?
the Exorcist crew,
Oh, right, Extras.
as headed by Sun Wukong's brother. Because, they're a thing. They also want to destroy the Wonders, much like what Hanako is doing. Like,
Yeah.
presumably they're going to get involved in this shit.
There's been a setup, but who knows if there's a payoff. Maybe it's a setup
Yeah.
for like something else that happens further in the manga.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
I don't remember how many episodes this is going to have. If it's going to
12.
have... It's only 12?
Yes.
Okay. Then who knows what's actually going to be brought up again and what's just going to be glossed over for another season.
Well, exactly. But that kind of ends our discussion of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Kind of a sadder episode, especially towards the latter half, with everything that we find out about Yuji, aka maybe Hanako,
Yeah.
who's just...
It was definitely a very, not strange, out of character for the show sort of tone. Of we had Yuji looking very like depressed and
Like, just,
possibly the victim of bullying
Yeah.
and sort of ready to like almost kill himself as he stood in the window. Like it was sort of sad to see him like that.
And then we get Somali, episode 6.
Yeah. Somali, holistically as a show, this episode ends ostensibly on a good note.
Yes.
Like, ostensibly it ends on a good note. I still somehow felt bad.
Because, like, just the whole situation is kind of shitty. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it ends kind of okay, but, like, stuff sucks.
Like, somehow, yeah, everyone is sort of happy or, like, is getting a good ending, kind of, at the end of this episode.
I mean,
And
sure.
yet still I felt bad.
Well,
I
because...
mean, we still don't know what's going to happen with Bird Dude. But...
Yeah, that's still kind of up in the air. Okay, so, real quick. In this episode, it takes off from the last episode where oh my god, what's her name? The Harpy girl is about to strangulate
Oh,
Somali.
something.
Oh right, well, yeah, whatever. I don't remember her name, but yeah,
Neither do I.
Harpy girl's about to like kill Somali.
Mhm.
This episode starts off right there. Um, she's trying to like actually kill Somali. Somali screams and is able to get away because of the Harpy's hearing.
Uh-huh.
Um, but as
It, the moral of this story is it's the worst attempted murder of all time.
it makes sense because she like not really doesn't really want to do it either. Like she's completely convicted the entire time, so
I
it
mean,
makes sense
yes,
that the murder
definitely.
didn't go well.
But it
But
is basically Somali and the Harpy run around on a ledge for 5 minutes.
yes, Somali
It
screams,
is
runs
the
away.
worst attempted murder ever until they fall into a river together.
They
Or Somali falls into a
Somali
river.
falls into the river. Harpy girl's like, "Damn, I actually don't want to kill her," and then goes and saves the girl, and then kind of comforts her after she's just about to like kill her.
Yeah.
Hitora and the golem show up. The golem's like, she's not gonna kill her anymore, and I would have done the same thing, so this is completely okay with me. The golem's just like, I would have done the same thing. This makes logical sense. I'm not mad.
The golem looks at things, evaluates, and says, "You are no longer a threat. I'll let you live today."
Well, he doesn't even say that. He's just like, yes, this makes sense. This makes sense that you want to
Yeah.
do this. With complete disregard that it would have killed Somali. She was like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Somali also stands up for the Harpy and basically is like, "Don't kill her. We're friends now again. I
Yeah.
forgave her."
So
But that leads to them bringing them back to the camp as Somali and the Harpy basically make up and are friends again. And Hattori tells his life story or his
yeah,
backstory
we
to
find
the
out
golem.
about how he got the AIDS.
Holy fuck, were we wrong? We were wrong on every level.
Yes, I wasn't
We
expecting.
made about 7 predictions of what could happen. Not even close.
Yeah. So the quick and skinny, their village gets attacked by some of the monsters who are off on their human hunts.
Mm,
Hitora and his family run away and hide out in a cave for 3 days. Just trying to
Yes.
get, real hungry and real thirsty, so they need to get some food, and Hitora decides to leave. While he's, searching around for some food or some water for anything else, he comes across Harpy Girl's mom. And at this point, he's like, fuck, I'm really hungry, and kills her mom and decides that they're going to eat her mom.
yeah.
And then they eat her mom.
Yep.
And then her husband, his wife and his daughter
His
both
wife.
die.
Yep.
But he lives. And then
somehow.
Harpy Girl comes in saying, like, wondering where the fuck's her mom. And then he's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm gonna adopt her now.
I guess you're mine now.
Yep. Your mom's dead. She's
By
in my
rules
belly.
of conquering hero, I think I own you now.
Basically, eating the mom was not the eating was not in the way that I had anticipated. I
That's
thought,
right. You thought she was gonna bang the Harpy.
I thought it was possibly, yeah, I thought it was possibly Harpy AIDS, like actually AIDS. But
Right.
no, it's just straight up like some weird
I
curse.
thought, yeah, he was gonna like heal them of Harpy plague and contract it. No. Well, he kind of contracted Harpy plague if you consider Harpy prions to be Harpy plague. Because that's basically what happened. Was yeah, they ate raw flesh. Have you ever?
Yeah, I was wondering like why they
heard or-
didn't like cook it, but
Yeah.
I wonder if
Have
cooking it
you
would have
heard
helped.
of or watched the show Fruit of Grisaya?
No. Oh,
Okay.
wait, the anime?
It's a it's an
The
anime.
ecchi shit?
Also, it's a visual novel.
It's a visual novel. I remember because it's just a fucking hentai.
Basically, yes. But specifically, I'm referencing the last arc of the anime.
I have not watched it.
Okay. The last arc of the anime is sort of a similar premise to this, where basically they backstory of one of the girls is that they like have like a bus crash that traps them in the woods for a while, and it basically ends with cannibalism.
Okay.
It's a very similar arc to this in that like I don't know what the fuck it is with Japan's like opinion of what happens when you eat human flesh, but every time I've seen cannibalism in anime, it always results in people going crazy. Like anytime it's like, oh, I ate this person's flesh and now I'm crazy.
I mean, that's what happens in X-Files.
Oh, is it?
Yes, in Chaco Chicken, the episode Chaco Chicken. Wait, is that the episode name? It's the episode with the Chaco Chicken where they eat people and everyone goes crazy.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, they don't go crazy. Sorry. They don't go crazy. It's actually eating the people makes them live longer, but one of them ends up having a prion disease and it starts spreading to everyone else because they're eating people. And no one in the village wants to like admit that there's a fucking problem, despite the fact that half the population has this disease and is actively dying. It was a funny episode, but yeah,
It was an interesting episode. But yeah, it's
but Hitora.
I don't know what it is with this. The anime's depiction of cannibalism.
Well, even then, a lot of cultures have cannibalism taboo stories, like the Wendigo as well. If you
It's true, but I always consider the cannibalism taboo stories to be more like a folklore type taboo thing.
This might be like the whole you eat someone and you go crazy might be like a folk thing in Japan that's just adopted.
It could be.
For,
You're
like,
right.
That one arc.
But fuck, there was some greater reason why I brought this up, and now I've lost the thread.
Oh, was them eating the harpy girl akin to cannibalism?
I guess so. Oh, what I was going to bring up was the fact that a while ago you asked me whether or not I would ever eat human meat if we grew it in a lab successfully. Oh, yeah. My answer now again is conclusively fuck no. I don't want to go crazy. Well, I don't want to contract human AIDS.
Hold on. If it's grown in a lab, it probably won't have it. It's safe to eat the meat. That's why it's grown in a lab.
I mean, still though.
Like, it's okay if you don't want to eat the meat. Like, if you don't want to eat human. I'm just saying that I am 100% down.
You are going to eat the human meat.
If it's grown in a lab and I'm not gonna get any diseases, I'll fucking eat it. I want to taste long pig.
Got trapped in the woods for a while. Had to eat some human. Guess I have a taste for it now.
But anyways, yeah, Hitora's now kind of the harpy girl's adopted father, because as we found out later in the episode, he's basically just a resolve to just live for this girl because of like the sin he's committed. Essentially, like he wants to have her live the happiest life as possible because he took it away all the way. And
because he killed her mom, he basically feels like he has to be the surrogate parent to this child now. Yep. And so they traveled the world together, and she was trying to take care of him and love him and make sure he didn't die. And he basically just felt like shit the whole time because he killed her mom, and that was all that he could think about.
But of course, what's her face hears it, and is
because they're discussing this like 5 feet away from them.
They're not even
the harpy girl hears this. No, they're talking at full volume.
They didn't even wait for them to go
probably
sleep.
When they just got back from the camp. Yeah. They have this discussion, and Harpy Girl hears it.
And Harpy Girl.
And so the next day, they are in the carriage, and Harpy Girl is clearly not thrilled with what she just overheard. But before we can really try and fix it with Somali basically talking to her about it, we instead have a little sand dragon twister thing that shows up. And the girls get whipped away by it, but the golem uses his super Sauron eye to analyze the wind vectors and decide, they'll probably live.
They'll be fine. Let's just wait it out.
I like that his exact response was, it's probable that they won't get hurt when they come down.
Yeah.
I feel like probable that they won't get hurt is not the sweet spot you want to be in.
But I mean, at that point, like, what are they gonna do?
Go catch them?
No, like if they walk out or if they leave the cabin, they'll also get like whipped up. The best thing was to just wait.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, again, like, you don't just look at that and say like, it's probable that they'll survive.
Well, shit, looks like they're fucked. But anyways, they wake up and they're out in the middle of the fucking desert.
It's more probable that they survive than they die. How probable exactly? 51%.
Anyways, the golem and Hitora decide to go out looking for them. They find that they're being accosted by like this, I forget what they call it, but it's some like weird dragon ant shit, which looks fucking horrifying.
It's the alien from Space Troopers, actually.
What were they called? The bugs? It's just a bug.
It's just the bugs. I don't know if they had like a race name.
The bug from Clandathu.
They're the Sardok Nor from Twilight Imperium.
Possibly. Did I play as them?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. You were definitely the bugs that were the bugs from Space Troopers. I think they were called the Sardok Nor.
But yeah, they're running away. So they decide to go, chase after them and come up with a plan to get them to safety. Because if they both try to, they can't win against this thing because it's fucking massive and looks fucking horrifying and has like tentacle nipples. Those
Yes,
were
it does.
tentacle nipples. Those are fucking weird.
They were
Fucking mouths.
absolutely. It had like a half or a dozen tentacle nipples.
But the golem makes up a plan. He's going to draw attention away because he's got a golem body which is strong as fuck.
And the
Wow.
gun.
Yeah, and the gun. While Hattori grabs the girls and
Saves
runs
the
away.
girls.
And then the golem's
Yep.
just going to hit him with the flare and then run away. Then Hattori's like, I want to die now. So he just
Yeah.
walks out in the middle of the desert, gets the thing's attention, and then just starts running away. Doesn't run
After
far.
like a 2 minute conversation of like the golem and him discussing this plan, they get to the end and Hattori's like, cool plan, Leroy!
Leroy Jenkins. And the golem's just
And the
saying,
golem is just left behind saying,
that's not the
this
plan.
was not the plan we agreed on.
Yep.
But Hattori basically is committed that this is his time to die. He can do something great and save her life and basically repay the debt he owes her by saving her life.
It doesn't really. I
And-
guess it kind of works, but he doesn't go very far because he's got feathers in his lungs.
Yeah,
So he,
he's
like-
coughing up blood the whole time.
He just immediately keels over.
He makes
it's
it
not that funny.
approximately 50 feet. And most of that is only because he can roll down a hill.
Yep. But Harpy Girl doesn't want him to die, despite the fact that what he did in the past was really fucked up. She still loves him as a father, so she uses her harpy powers to cut the monster's nipples off,
Yeah.
and then the golem shoots a flare at its back, and then it runs away. And then the Harpy
Yes.
Girl basically says, you can't die yet. You're still my dad. I still love you. You have to stay alive and stay with me. That's the way you can repay your debt. And he's like, okay, I'm still dying. And that's the end of the episode.
I'm still gonna die though.
Well, while they're having a little cry moment, Somali's also crying and then holds the golem's hand. Because remember, he's also lying about dying.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that
I thought for sure there was gonna be a moment earlier show when they were talking about like, love is never a lie and all of that. I thought for sure there was gonna be some moment where someone's like, "My dad has never lied to me about anything," really rubbing in the fact that he's lying about definitely not dying soon.
exactly.
But yeah, we also found out earlier, and I forgot to mention this, that the cure for Hattori's bird flu prion disease is that he needs to basically have clean blood put inside of him
Yes.
to flush out the infected blood.
It's a
Notably, it does not say how much blood.
Yeah, it could just be a drop. It could be, I don't know, the entire fucking human
Yeah,
thing. 10
blood
gills.
system.
However many gills are in a human body.
I think it's 12 gills, but I might
We
be
got
wrong.
12 gills. We need 2 gills in your blood, Archer. 2 gills, how much is that? Is that a lot?
I've had
yeah.
approximately 4 gills of blood drawn a day, and you're drinking whiskey? Watered down, yeah.
But yeah, that was the ending, and I can definitely agree with you. Like, things are happy-ish,
Yeah.
but like both dads are still dying.
Yeah. And we haven't discussed the whole clean blood can save him thing. We don't know if Somali can donate some of her blood and save him. Like, can we donate enough to save him? Or is this like a we need all of her blood to live kind of situation?
Yeah, we just don't know.
So, yeah.
It's entirely
we don't
possible
know
that
how
he will be
much blood.
cured.
Yeah. If this was a fairy tale, it would be like a one drop and he's good kind of situation. But the show hasn't always been a fairy tale about things, so I could also see it being
I don't
like
know, like eating like your adoptive daughter's mother. That's pretty like old school fairy tale shit.
that is some old school fairy tale shit. Although, I feel like, bleeding a child of all of their blood and then injecting it into your veins so you don't die of bird AIDS is also some old school fairy tale shit.
Yeah, that too.
So there is every possibility that Bird Dad is not going to be making it to the end of the next episode.
No. But
But we'll find
yeah,
out.
we'll see if
It's ostensibly ends on a good note of this family
for
of the
now. For
bird
now,
people coming back together and saying like, we love each other. We'll live as long as we can together because we love each other, kind of thing. You know,
the first scene next episode is going to be the dad just like limp on top of her, and he's just like, "Hey, wake up!" and then he just falls over.
it's actually going to start next episode with a funeral as they bury him in the sand right there.
Yeah, he really shouldn't run away.
He actually died during that hug.
Oh, we'll find out what happens. Hopefully, not what we're saying, because I still want it to be a little happy,
The show can only get so brutal before I just start openly weeping.
right? But yeah, that was Somali. What a
Yeah.
man!
What a fucking emotional just punch in the kidneys.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We haven't had a direct reminder of the fact that the golem is going to die in like a full episode, though.
There was
We
no
had an
direct
oblique reminder, but
we
that
had
was the only one.
I feel like this whole episode was a big reminder.
I mean,
Because like a bunch of
it sits heavy in your head when you
Yeah.
think about it, because like we know as the audience, but like nothing in the show ostensibly pointed directly to the thing. Like nothing in the show was like the golem's gonna die
right.
soon.
They didn't explicitly say
It's just one of those. It's like an axe that just hangs over your head. We as the audience know it's there, but nothing in the show referenced it directly. Whereas in like previous episodes, we had something that directly referenced the fact that like, you know, either you're gonna die soon or you're lying to your daughter about not dying soon.
Well, like I feel like their story is kind of being told through the perspective of Hitora and Harpy Girl, because that's what's going to end up happening to them is their
I would
story.
disagree.
No,
I would disagree.
Yes?
I do not. Their stories aren't even comparable. He didn't. The golem did not in any way kill her mom or feel
I
like
meant more
morally
like the fact that
responsible
he's
for
dying
him.
and he's lying about it. Well, no, because
Okay, I
Hitori
mean that's such a stretch, though. Like that's
doesn't even know.
it's
Hold on, that doesn't even make sense because Hitori's not lying about dying.
yeah. Like
They are like
not
drawing
comparable.
parallels between Hitori's lying about the death of her mother, the girl's mother, and then the golem lying about how he's not being truthful to Somali. They are drawing parallels with that.
kind of. I mean, you're reaching real far right now.
I feel like that was the whole point of the
This
Somali like holding
if you
his
reach
hand.
any further, this would be a reach in foul.
No, I feel like
'Cause-
my main like piece of evidence is the fact that Somali is holding what's her face's hand, like reaching the fact that we see her reach out for the golem right as Harpy Girl and Hitora are having their moment.
I mean, that's just them having a connection. As we see Somali and the golem growing closer to each other emotionally. I did in that moment. The golem has never ostensibly been like a dick about anything, but like I can only ever imagine him like being very serious / sarcastic about some things at moments like that. And so as she like reached up to hold his hand and said she made some comment about like, oh, she's such a crybaby. I wanted the golem, like I could hear the golem in my head saying, "You're one to talk."
She doesn't even cry that often though.
She didn't cry, but she spent all of 2 episodes ago whinging about the fact that the golem was working and not spending more time with her.
Oh, that's true. But like the only times we actually seen her cry is because one, she like fucked up her leg, and two, she had a fucking fever.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I saw that last like reach out and hold his hand thing more as just them showing the golem and Somali growing closer to each other. I still think any amount of reading into it as to like alluding to his impending death is just us as the audience knowing it's coming and feeling it ourselves. Like
Okay.
feeling the weight of that like burden ourselves. I don't think the show definitely didn't directly allude to anything I'm saying.
Okay. I have no other arguments.
Okay.
Fuck. Well, I completely forgot what I want to say.
Was there something else you wanted to mention
I
about
don't think
Somali?
so. Nah, I don't think so. That's basically it.
Yeah.
It does end on a very nicer note where Somali is holding Golem's hand. The Golem kind of like reaches out. Did he reach out? I feel like he was reaching out to hold her hand too, and it wasn't just her like moving the cape out
Kind
of
of.
the
It was
way.
hard to tell. It was like behind a cape,
Right, but I
so
feel
like
like
it was
he was
hard
the
to
one moving the
tell.
cape. I don't know.
Maybe. It kind of
Anyways,
happened all at once. I wasn't paying
they
attention.
hold hands. Somali cries a little bit, and the episode ends.
Yeah.
We still don't know whether or not either dad's gonna live. We don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Harvey Girl.
Yeah.
Everything's up in a mess.
Somehow we get to the end of the episode and I still don't feel good.
Yeah. But that was our 3 shows this week.
Yeah.
Ezokin, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and Somali. One was a bit happier than the other two, and 2 were real sad. We'll see if they continue to be sad next episode.
I mean, Hanako was only mildly sad, I would say.
The back half of Hanako was sad.
It was kind of sad. I mean, we knew that he was going to die, and presumably young, because he looks young.
Yes. I didn't think he'd kill himself.
Which
he may have
we
not
don't know
done.
that he killed himself.
Right.
Yeah, he may not have killed himself.
We also don't know who he killed.
Yeah, we also don't know if he's murdered somebody or not.
I'm pretty sure he's murdered someone, but we'll find out. At some point, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe it was a murder-suicide.
It was, oh my god. Actually, I don't think that I was thinking of a joke from The Simpsons, but I don't think that was one of those. Because Officer Wiggum has a bunch of, like, stupid names for different crimes, and I don't think murder-suicide was one of them.
Okay.
A shooty steely! Ah, that's what it was. A breaking and entering. You mean a shooty steely? But anyways, Nick, what would you like to sell to today?
Today I'm going to sell out to Manchester City Football Club, who about 3 days ago received a 2-year ban on Champions League participation.
Can I say this real quick?
Go for it.
I was going to try to call you out on that. Because I read the news a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, Nick's going to sell out to this. But I completely forgot to do it. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, so they, after apparently misreporting or underreporting how much money they were getting for or through legal means, which is to say like sponsors and gate sales and stuff like that, they basically were overpaying their players, spending too much money, and didn't have the official returns to back it up. And they are now banned from the Champions League for 2 years, which means that their great club with all of their oil money from their Arab backers for the past 10 years, gonna go to shit in the next 2 years. All their players are gonna request transfers, and their head coach is probably gonna leave. So shout out to you, Manchester City, for fucking yourself in the mouth. I am somewhat happy that you are festering and dying in front of us.
Well, there you have it.
Because you just bought your way into a first place spot, and I'd love to see that fail.
I mean, they didn't even
What are you
buy
gonna
it
sell out
correctly.
to?
I'm going to sell out to...
They did not buy it correctly.
Yeah, because they got caught, so,
Also shout out to them, because apparently they're also turning state's witness against some other teams.
Oh, my. I feel like...
Because apparently if they're going down, they're going to take other teams down with them, apparently.
half the Premier League is going to be out of the UEFA Cup.
It is
Or
very
League.
possible.
Champions League, sorry.
The Champions League. So yeah, apparently they are gathering evidence on some other teams and taking some other teams down with them, reportedly.
Like
so we'll see if more teams get banned soon.
Or
what are you going to sell it to?
hold on, they might be going for the other for this other situation where so many teams get caught that Champions League is to say, you know what, you're all doing it, fuck it, get back into the cup.
I mean, they could also pull a Tour de France and say like, all right, everybody from 1 to 24 is banned. 25th place in the Tour de France, you won. Congratulations, dude.
But I'm going to sell out to Meiruku-chan, a scary manga about a girl who can see ghosts and dead things. Basically, the logic of the little manga is you can't acknowledge that you can see the ghost or else they attack you. So this entire time, this girl's just being scared shitless because there's these fucking creepy things just all around her. And she just has to pull her best poker face and just hope to dear God they don't notice her. And it can get super scary and super funny at times. And I fucking love it.
Does she ever interact with anybody else who can see the ghosts?
One girl that she becomes friends with can see some ghosts. But the way it works is that you have to have a higher level of spiritual energy or some bullshit to see stronger ghosts. so she can only see like little ghosts, but but our main character can see like the scariest ghosts.
Ah, okay.
And like her friend thinks that she's like the best fucking thing ever. So yeah. And then like there's this one fortune teller lady who can also see kind of some ghosts, but only like the small ones.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Highly recommend.
So that's that.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. I was Brandon.
I'm still Nick.
Yep.
This has
Peace
been another
out.
episode of ABC. I've got nothing much to say.
Yeah.